Okay, so picture this. You find the perfect role. You know you're qualified. You spent hours on the application, hit send, and then crickets. Or worse, that instant, soul-crushing automated rejection email. It's an incredibly frustrating cycle, right? But what if I told you the problem isn't your experience? What if you could use AI to completely overhaul your resume? Well, let's dive into a step-by-step framework that does exactly that.
Look at this. On the left, not selected. On the right, interview scheduled. This is for the exact same person with the exact same qualifications. The only thing that changed was the resume itself. So today, we're going to break down precisely how to get from the left side of the screen to the right, using a smart AI audit to make sure all your hard work actually gets seen.
You know, we've all been there. You see that email that starts with, "Thank you for your interest, but," for a job you know you could absolutely crush. And it's so easy to start thinking, man, maybe I'm just not qualified. But here's the thing. More often than not, it's because your resume just isn't speaking the right language to get past that first line of defense. And this brings us to a really crucial mindset shift. I want you to stop thinking the problem is your qualifications. It's not. The real issue is closing these mismatch gaps. These subtle but honestly fatal differences between the words on your resume and the specific language the company used in their job description, that's what's getting you overlooked.
See, before your resume ever makes it to a real live hiring manager, it has to get past two pretty tough gatekeepers. And if you don't understand who or what they are, you don't stand a chance. First up, you've got the robot, the ATS, or Applicant Tracking System. Think of it like a bouncer at a club with a very specific guest list. It's scanning your resume for keywords from the job description. If you don't have enough of the right ones, you're not getting in. Simple as that. If you get past the bot, then you face the human recruiter, who's looking for one thing: immediate, crystal clear impact. And how much time does that human recruiter give you? You're looking at it. 7 seconds. That is it. 7 seconds for them to decide if your entire career, everything you've ever accomplished, is worth a closer look. If your value doesn't jump off the page instantly, you're done. So let's break down what these failure points actually look like. First, missing keywords. This is the #1 reason the ATS will just toss your resume in the trash. Then you've got these vague bullet points, like responsible for managing projects. What does that even mean? It shows zero impact. And finally, no metrics. You talk about your achievements, but you don't use any numbers, so the recruiter has no way of knowing how big your contribution really was. These are the exact gaps we're about to fix. So, how in the world do we find and fix every single one of these gaps? Well, we use an AI-powered audit. And look, this isn't about just changing a few words here and there. This is a complete, structured process that helps you build a resume that is precision-tailored to beat the bots and, more importantly, wow the recruiter. And here it is. This is our 5-step roadmap. First, we run a full gap analysis to see exactly where the problems are. Then, we rewrite those weak bullet points to show real impact. After that, we strategically inject the right keywords. We tailor the summary for that specific role. And finally, we do one last check to make sure it's absolutely perfect. Now, every step here is important, but we're going to do a little deep dive on step 2, rewriting for impact. Why? Because honestly, this is where the magic happens. This is where you transform your resume from a boring list of duties into a powerful story of your actual accomplishments. I mean, just look at the difference here. The before is so passive and vague, responsible for, who cares? But the after, that gets you the interview. It's specific, it's action-packed, and it's loaded with metrics that prove your value. There is zero doubt in the recruiter's mind about what you can do. So what's the secret sauce for writing bullets like that after example? It's something called the CAR framework. It stands for context, action, and result. You set the scene, you describe the specific action you took, and then, and this is the most important part, you state the measurable result of what you did. This is the gold standard, the formula for every single great resume bullet point. All right, so your achievement bullets are shining bright. Now let's talk about those final polishing steps, 3, 4, and 5. These are absolutely crucial to make sure your masterpiece actually gets seen by the right people, because you're optimizing it for both the robot and the human. So this covers the final 3 steps. First, keywords. You're going to ask the AI to pull out the top 10 from the job description and help you weave them in. And here's a pro tip. Don't just stuff them in a list. Weave them naturally into your new CAR bullet points. Second, the summary. Ditch that generic objective statement and use AI to write a killer 3 to 4 sentence summary that's tailored to this specific job. And finally, the consistency check. One last look to catch any typos or weird formatting.
And here's a really cool trick to measure your success before you even hit send. Ask the AI to score your finished resume on two things: ATS optimization and human readability. Your goal is to get a 7 out of 10 or higher on both. If you're not there, you know you've still got a little tweaking to do.
So let's put it all together one last time. This is your AI resume audit playbook. 1. Full gap analysis to find the problems. 2. Rewrite your bullets using context action result. 3. Inject those P words so the ATS loves you. 4. Tailor your summary for every single application. And 5. Run that final check and get your scores. That's the whole game plan.
At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. You have the experience. You've done the work. This whole process is just about making sure your resume presents that experience so powerfully that they have absolutely no choice but to call you for an interview.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. When a recruiter pulls up your resume and gives you those 7 seconds, what are they going to see? Are they just going to see a boring list of job duties? Or are they going to read the compelling, data-backed story of what you can actually achieve for them?